Hello and welcome back to Ice Station Zero. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some recent pickups, some of them not so recent, some of them a little more recent. So what do you say we get started? First up, Halo Combat Evolved. It's a well-polished first-person shooter with fantastic graphics for its day. The story was decent, but the lack of subtitles and low voice volume made it hard to follow during the cutscenes. Basically, the story is aliens fighting humans with a few twists here and there. It's fun to play. You basically just run around shooting aliens, so it's good to kick back and relax and do that. One thing I didn't like was how the levels, especially the indoor ones, were really confusing. To find your way around. It took away from the pacing of the game. Like, you just be running around shooting aliens and then you get lost. Like, everything looks the same when you're indoors. So I kept getting lost, and I'm not big on puzzles. I guess they try to throw it in there just to keep it interesting, but I don't really like puzzles in my video games. Other than that, great game. Next, Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader. I'm a big fan of the first Rogue Squadron game on the N64. This is basically more of the same. If you don't know, it's spacecraft combat, and the graphics are really improved over the first one. Alright, next is Pikmin for the GameCube. It's a real-time strategy game, and the story is you play as Captain Olimar, whose spacecraft crash lands on this alien planet, and you have to go around finding the missing pieces of your spaceship to put it back together so you can get off the planet. These little creatures called Pikmin help you on your journey. Fun game. Next, The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. This is the first. I have this copy here in my hand is the first print run edition. It doesn't include any expansions. It's just the original game. But it does come with. I have the manual, and it comes with a map poster, which I will show you. There it is. Basically shows that island right there, that continent or whatever, is the game world, and it's huge, as you can see. I don't remember what the story was for this game. It's really not that important because there's just so many different quests you can do, each with their own story, just like hundreds and hundreds of different quests. It's an open world sandbox game. Beautiful graphics for its day, especially the water. A lot of people comment about how the dark, murky graphics really add and elevate the game. I agree with that. One major bad part about this is that it freezes every now and then when you're in the middle of combat. I guess it's just too much computing going on or something. I don't know why games freeze, but it freezes when you're in combat every now and then, and hopefully you saved recently, so that sucks. And one last thing about this game is that it's really hard. There are no difficulty settings like in the later Elder Scrolls games, Oblivion and Skyrim. So I never beat the main quest. I got stuck about 2/3 the way through. It just was too hard and got surrounded by these enemies, and I guess I could have went back and got like an invisibility potion. I just at that point didn't care anymore. Maybe I'll go back to it one day, but I have Skyrim and it's a little more polished, so I prefer that. Next up is Metroid Prime. Speaking of hard games, this is a hard game. I got stuck on the Sheogoth boss battle, which is like 1/3 into the game. And it's hard because the save point where you restart the game every time you die and during the boss battle is so far back. You have to go through all this places to get back to it, and there's all these really hard baby Sheogoth enemies on the way, and it's super annoying. So I wish it was a little easier. As you know, as I mentioned in previous videos, I like easy games. I don't really like a big challenge. I just prefer story and art. I don't really want to be challenged. Yeah, and I wish this had more of a story. There's use your visor to scan different little red blocks throughout the game, and they give you like little history of what happened there thousands of years ago or something like that. But you have to read a lot, and it's I don't know. I didn't really get into it that much. So I wish I had cutscenes and a more like gripping story. But it has brilliant graphics, really brilliant graphics, and controls are spot on. But I recommend it only for people who want a challenge. And one last thing about Metroid Prime is that's a lot like the first 3 Metroid games. I'm sure most of you heard the term Metroidvania, where you have to go back to places you already visited and get new items to unlock new areas, and there's really no set path through the game. You kind of make it your own. So yeah, it's that, but in 3D. So pretty cool game. Okay, next is The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker for GameCube. This is a solid action-adventure game. The graphics are cartoonish, they're cel-shaded, which turned a lot of people off, but I kind of agree with that. It was kind of like a little more mature and style in my Zelda games, makes it a little more interesting for me, but there were times when I was playing it where I was like, well, this is like being a kid again, and that was kind of cool. Won't give away the story, but it's what you'd expect from a Zelda game, which I guess is good or bad depending on your preference. Never beat it. I got stuck in the 4th of 5 dungeons. I knew what to do, but the stupid floor masters were relentless, and I couldn't figure out how to beat them without getting sent back to the beginning of the dungeon. It just got so frustrating, I just gave up. But a decent Zelda game. Not my favorite, but decent. Next, Ikaruga. This is a bullet hell shooter. It's fun but challenging, and it's recommended for fans of the genre. It's one of the better ones I've played. Okay, next, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic for Xbox. It's a really cool RPG set in the pre-Empire Star Wars universe. You can take the path of the Jedi or the Sith, and I love that in games where you can be good or bad. This is made by BioWare, who did Mass Effect, which kind of really just like made popular that kind of mechanic in video games. I haven't played very far into it because there's just so many other games I want to play, but I would love to delve deeper into this one day because it seems really cool. Ninja Gaiden for the Xbox. It's a very difficult action-adventure game. You play as a ninja, obviously, and there are tons of weapons and different attacks you learn along the way. Fable for the Xbox is a story-driven third-person adventure game. Lots of cool things you can do in this game. Like you can get drunk in this game, and everything gets blurry. It's kind of cool. That's just one example of one of the unique features of the game. But Peter Molyneux, who developed this game, created it, didn't deliver on some of his promises, as I'm sure most of you are aware. He said there'd be a lot more features that weren't included in the game. This is another game where you can be good or evil. I think it's worth checking out, despite its not being what it was originally hyped to be. Okay, next is Halo 2 for the Xbox. Okay, this is more of the same from the first Halo, but new maps, new weapons, and now you can dual wield, as you see him doing here on the cover, holding 2 guns at the same time, which is a lot of fun. And one thing I mentioned about the Halo series when I mentioned Halo 1 earlier was that Halo revolutionized well, I don't know if it revolutionized, but it really upped the ante of first-person shooting multiplayer games. Made it really popular, just with its tight controls and its intuitive matchmaking system. It's really well-polished game. Great series, lives on today, keeps still going. Halo 5 will be out, I think, this year, 2015, I think. Next is Resident Evil 4, and this is the last game I'm going to show. It's for the GameCube. This is a game I picked up pretty recently, so I haven't had a chance to play it at all. But it got rave reviews from everyone, just hands down. Everyone loves this game. I've never seen one person say anything majorly bad about this game. It's third-person zombie killing fun, so check it out if you haven't played it. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and look out for more videos coming down the pipe, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.